Hello, everybody. It is November the 8th, 2020, right here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. I look a lot different on camera now that I've been messing with some settings with the webcam and the things, but I still need to kind of dress up the green screen. But you know what? Who cares? You know what? We're all feeling pretty good after yesterday's announcements, I guess the best way to put it. Hi there, I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live, alongside the effervescent editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, Mike Tedesco, where we watch along all of the major WWE pay-per-views as they are happening right here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel, including 2 weeks from now, Survivor Series, which Mike Tedesco says is the most inconsequential and irrelevant pay-per-view of all of them. And so, but I wouldn't think it would be that irrelevant, because for the final time, for the 5th time, for the 25th time, for Lord knows how many times, it is the final farewell. The final one. We're sure of it this time. It's the final one of The Undertaker. Bidding final, we mean it this time, final farewell. I will not believe that is a final farewell until, I would like it if during Survivor Series they introduce The Undertaker and they have a humongous throne set for him to sit on that is on the hard side camera, blocking the entire Thunderdome, where he just sits there and watches everyone battle for his amusement. But we know that probably won't happen. It'll probably be a segment of some kind to give him a big introduction. He'll give a speech. Someone will give a run-in, and it won't be a final farewell. We'll have another match. That's probably what's going to happen. But that's what we're doing. So today's show, top 5 things for Lackey's List to go over is all AEW related again. Talk about Full Gear. AEW Full Gear occurred last night, and I'm going to be brutally honest. No, I did not watch it. But there were 5 things that I saw from highlights, GIFs, and results and everything, and I need everyone's help in the chat room to talk me into AEW. I know I keep asking people to talk me into AEW. It's hard. It's a hard thing for me to not grasp, but you know, I'm a long time WWE viewer, and I've watched maybe 6 episodes of AEW Dynamite, and I see so many botches. So much no selling. Anything involving the Young Bucks makes me gag. Cody's 4-minute long entrance when everyone else only gets 30 seconds, you know, so I need a lot of convincing when it comes to AEW. And I hope that everyone in the chat room will convince me with these 5 things that I want to talk about in relation to AEW Full Gear that happened last night. Very, very light news week. Very, very light news week. Just a few headlines to go over from last week. The milk carton is full sail. We are 1 week away from a tremendously glorious day on the WWE milk carton. It's going to be a fantastic time. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. I think we will do a compendium for the gentleman that I am talking about, who is the stalwart of our WWE milk carton. We will get to that in a little bit. Also, some new faces on the WWE milk carton who have finally made it to the main roster. So we're going to talk about that also. And then finally, what better way to celebrate the final farewell again of The Undertaker than by trying to watch a match involving The Undertaker without the YouTube Gestapo going after us? How? So first off, I want to preface the show with, if the Gestapo do find us, then it's been a pleasure having you all be part of the Wrestleview YouTube channel. It's been a pleasure doing this show. So hopefully we will not get stricken down, but we shouldn't be. There's no copyright shots on it. So there you go. We're going to watch a very obscure match involving The Undertaker. I think I have seen this match before. It's been a very long time. What is it? I'm not going to tell you because I'm a jerk like that. Because that's what you call teasing. You know, I'm just tickling you right now. We're not just going to go balls deep right now. No. So, incredibly obscure Undertaker match that we're going to watch here. Again, I've seen it before. But yeah, if you have, awesome. Okay, enjoy it with me. If you have not, well, then you're in for a treat. I'm not going to tell you what it is until we get to it. Until then, oh yeah, first we got to get the pleasantries out of the way first. If you're in the chat room now, you say, wee! If you're not in the chat room, there's not a damn thing I can do about that. Who all is in the chat room tonight? I see Jamel. I saw Andrew. Who else is in there? I see big, sexy hunk of man meat Lou in there. I saw Daniel. Who else? I see Kit, who Bo leaves. Who else is in the chat room? You gotta go wee, or else I'm not gonna know who the hell you are. Where is everybody? There you are, Jamel. There we go. I see Mediocre Lewis. Hey, Doug, what's up? Wee! Oh, I'm feeling grand. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling grand after the big announcements from yesterday. Chad Cooper going, wee! Mashoon, it's a beautiful wee day in Chicago. Is it? Actually, here in Charlotte, it is almost 80 degrees outside. It is November the 8th, and we are near 80 degrees. I don't know what the hell's going on with this weather, this earth. I have no idea. So, it's just a weird year. 2020 is stupid. We'll just go and put it that way. If everyone else is coming in the chat room, they know how to introduce themselves. Okay, sources. What are the sources? Today's sources are from a brewery I've never had a beer from before, so this is going to be interesting. Normally, when we get to the Novembers, the Decembers, the Januaries, and the Februaries, the season of the beer drinking is porters and stouts. We drink the darker beers is what we're drinking. And also, sources on this show, professional wrestling news sites have sources, and they say their sources reveal that this was supposed to happen. This is how someone feels according to our sources. Well, my sources are the best because they never fail me. Pay-per-view predictions barring. So here we go from Suffolk Punch Brewing out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We are drinking Snowball Ninja. Snowball Ninja is what we're going to have. Of course, I'm a sucker for any weird named beer. I love wacky names of beers. So here I am on the Untapped.com website to read for you the descriptor of Snowball Ninja from Suffolk Punch Brewing. Snowball Ninja is smooth and stealthy. Extensive lagering has balanced its flavors out to patient perfection. This Baltic porter is fit and full-bodied, but not overly sweet. Its roast character shows restraint. Smooth malty chocolate flavors with a hint of black licorice. This ninja is delicious and would rather fall on its sword than show you mercy. I think I read that pretty well. I was incredibly inspired by Dave Chappelle's impersonation of the guy from Allstate from Saturday Night Live. That was fantastic. Okay, Dave Chappelle has got a voice, unless he was lip syncing. And then I was bought and sold, and worked like a dog. Okay, into the is this the sifter of sensibility, or is this the goblet of gratuitous violence? I think this is the goblet of gratuitous violence, but it doesn't matter. This is what we're pouring it in. Oh, the ABV on this guy, they always ask, Doug, how smashed are you getting? This is a 7.0 ABV. This is a 7.0 ABV on this Baltic Porter from Suffolk Punch Brewing out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Snowball Ninja. That's what we're getting. Oh, that's a dark. Ooh, that's thick. That is a thick. Look at that. That is very, very thick. That's a porter right there. Jamel saying the goblet of greatness. Greatness, I guess. Man, that is. Look at the head on that guy. Look at that. Man, that is some foam right there. That's a very, very good pour right there, if I do say so myself. Doug, stop being so fucking modest. I know, Jamel, we're getting to it. Let's go ahead and we'll take what's left out of the can and try this out. It is not overly sweet. The chocolate is very faint. Hardly, well, there's the after. That's the bite. There's the bite. The licorice is not biting. I know black licorice is horrid, okay? I've never been a fan of black licorice, but it complements this porter very well. If this were a stout, the chocolate would be dominating. The licorice, I don't think you would like either, but I gotta say, this is not bad. Suffolk Punch, this is a very drinkable porter. That's the thing. Porters are not as thick as stouts. And also, I love this time of year when it comes to the stouts, because the stouts got the heaviest ABV because we need help in staying warm. But from what I've heard, it's going to be a very tepid winter here in the Carolinas. We're not going to have any snowfall probably. It's going to be very mild. We aren't going to get cold at all. That's very, very good. Okay. And also, yes, before we go, Jamel, to be honest, I can't keep up with the names of the items you drink out of. Okay. I try hard. I definitely know we have the Stein of Redemption, the Chalice of Truth, and they are not alliterative at all. So I know we have a goblet and a sifter. So I don't know. All right. So 2 weeks ago was Turmoil in a Box, Hell in a Cell. Our predictions were putrid. Were atrocious. Were downright insulting to anyone who would consider themselves a professional wrestling fan. We went an abysmal 1-4. And we did horrible on our locked picks. Doug, what do you mean by locked picks? Well, whenever I make predictions on this program, pay-per-view or otherwise, if I am confident in my predictions and assumptions, I will lock them in phantom quotation marks. And if those locks are not realized, we do a shot of the Lunazul Blanco tequila. We went 1-4 at Hell in a Cell. 4 of those losses were locks. It's 4 shots of tequila. And I was so audacious that I said double or nothing, Money in the Bank would be cashed in. It was not. And so that turned into 8 shots of tequila. We took care of 2 of those last week. So now we're going to take care of 2 more right now. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. 2 down, another 6, so we'll knock down another 2 to meet us halfway. I hate having IOUs. I am not like that. I am a man of integrity. If I must fall upon my sword for the sake of entertainment, I do. It's what I do for you, and it's what I do for my character. Not an angle. This isn't an angle or a gimmick. It's just me. You know, that's what I got. So, okay. So here we go. There's the shot glass, double shot glass, the Cleveland Indians double shot glass. This is so hard to pour in front of the cam. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, God. There we go. That's good. It's so hard to pour high up like that. Because I got to do it in front of the camera. I got to show you guys that's what I'm doing, okay? Or else you're going to be thinking that I'm shooting water. I had a couple of people over the past year or year and a half actually think that I was duping, thinking that I'm not actually shooting tequila. They think, oh, he's shooting water, man. This is a hell of a gimmick. No, this is part of this is character. This is integrity. Okay. Let's see. God, that is an abomination sitting on my desk. All right. I'm staring I know it's staring right back at me. And I'm trying I would love to, file some lawsuits and say that this is fraudulent. That my locks should not have been counted. They weren't postmarked. No, they were postmarked. It's just they shouldn't be counted. Well, actually, they should count the 4 that I initially said, but the Double or Nothing came way later than the finish ending of the matches. So no, unlike other people, I need to concede, admit defeat, and hold myself accountable when I am wrong. Kind of see what I did there. This is kind of a metaphor. It's a really nice metaphor. So, stop the locks. Stop the shots. No, we can't do that. No. We must maintain the integrity of the predicting system. We must maintain the integrity of our democracy. All right, let's do this. All right. Enough of this, Doug. You're stalling. Your stalling tactics suck every week. All right, here we go. You guys know the drill. You know what I usually say when it comes to this. It is shown on the billboard. It's shown on the Titantron before the show all the time. So here we go. God damn it. All right, here we go. Here's to me not knowing shit about professional wrestling. God damn it, it hurts. Oh, that hurt worse than last week. Ah. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Ah. God damn it. Oh, God. Why did this hurt? What the fuck? God damn it. Oh. I gotta do 4 more of these. Well, 2 more of these of the double shot. God damn it. Another 2 next week. And then for the Survivor Series watch along. Oh, boy. And I know probably next week we're going to be predicting Survivor Series. I think we pretty much have all the matches booked, I think, already. Oh, God. Jesus Christ, that hurt. Oh. All right. Let's dip into the show. May not be a long one, but it may be our last one, depending on the Gestapo. Last night, AEW Full Gear stuff happened. Yeah, I have not seen it, but I've got GIFs of highlights of stuff that happened that caught my attention from the results. And so, help me out here. Okay, first off, quick results that are posted on Wrestleview.com from the kickoff show. Serena Deeb retained the NWA Women's Championship, pinning the former champion Allison Kay. Going into the main show, Kenny Omega defeated Adam Page by pinfall to be the #1 contender for the AEW World Title. What else do we see here? Oh yeah, Orange Cassidy defeated John Silver of the Dark Order. Darby Allin defeated Cody to become the new AEW TNT champion. Hikaru Shida defeated Nyla Rose to retain the AEW Women's title. The Young Bucks defeated FTR to become the new AEW Tag Team Champions. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion. This would be their cinematic match. And then finally, 2 more matches. MJF defeated Chris Jericho by pinfall, which now means that MJF and Wardlow are part of the Inner Circle. And then finally, Johnny Moxley defeated Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match to retain his AEW World title. Okay. Start off with 5 things, and let's just get things rolling with the world title match between Eddie Kingston and Jonathan Moxley. Here's Eddie Kingston pouring some rubbing alcohol on some fresh wounds by thumbtacks onto Moxley's back. Never seen that spot before, but we don't know if that's alcohol. I'm sure that might be just water or something like that, but that's a pretty good spot. I kind of like that spot, showing the diabolical Eddie Kingston, there are a few things that I've got with this image, but also I need you guys to kind of talk with me a little bit about Moxley and Kingston, and not just really this match in particular, but their placement in AEW in particular. Johnny Moxley does not do regular wrestling matches. Is that right? I mean, nothing's changed from Moxley's MO, right? I mean, Moxley, in order to protect how bad he is, we have to have him in no DQ situations, hardcore matches, right? That's what he did in the WWE. I mean, we tried having him as a world champion on SmackDown, and that's what happened, right? But they're continuing to do that in AEW, aren't they? It seems like every match that he has is meant to mask his irregularities. It's there to protect him. And wow, he loves wrestling so much, but it seems to protect him from all the faults that he has. So that's number one that I'm taking away from this. Number two, I totally understand that Eddie Kingston's fantastic on the mic. He's way better than Moxley, that's for damn sure. He's probably the best talker that AEW has on a microphone. Okay, his facial expressions, vocal tone, cadence, you name it, he's fantastic on the microphone. Not taking anything away from him on that. He is the best on AEW's roster. However, he is just as bad, if not worse than Moxley, because the only matches that we can have him in are hardcore matches to protect his faults. That's why he keeps saying that no Federation gave him a chance. Well, it's because you stink. It's because you stink in the ring. Now, on top of that, I don't understand just by looking at this graphic, this GIF, of Kingston pouring the quote-unquote rubbing alcohol on Moxley. Let me see. Kingston is a street talker, okay? Just a flat-out street talker, okay? If you close your eyes and listen to Eddie Kingston's voice, you imagine what he looks like, okay? Just imagine the clothes and stuff that he wears. You close your eyes and you imagine it, okay? Now, I'm looking at his ring attire, and that is not what I imagine Eddie Kingston would be wearing. Bright green, gym shorts with the man, I could see his gut, mad, flabby arms, just neon green everywhere, where Moxley, wearing the black and white camo pants and looks like army boots and stuff, I totally buy Moxley wearing that, but what the hell is Eddie Kingston wearing? What is that? It doesn't match his character at all. It doesn't matter any of his mannerisms, anything about him at all. Eddie, change the look. Look the part. Seriously. You look like a reject from an And One video, okay? Stop it. Let Angelo Dawkins be Angelo Dawkins, taking Jamel's kick from the chat room. I mean, Mediocre Lewis, that's his pro wrestler gear. I'm a pro wrestler gear. No, that's horrible. That's atrocious. No, Eddie, just get some different gear, please. I know you wanted to show off to the crowd because you're main eventing a pay-per-view, but for the love of God. Thingy number two from the AEWs of the full gears. MJF Chris Jericho match and Winky Winky. MJF and Chris Jericho apparently had a match to determine if MJF was going to be part of Chris Jericho's little troubadour clique. something like that. Are we not mapping out that Chris Jericho is just going to be turned on by the Inner Circle at some point, and then we have real heels and everyone will stop singing Chris Jericho's song, and this might be the time to where Chris Jericho actually retires? Could this be the time to where in the next 2 years we could be seeing this? I think so. The gears are turning from full gear. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Jamel, yep, reading my mind. MJF is just gonna take over Inner Circle or dismantle it from within, and Chris Jericho becomes a babyface, if he is a babyface isn't a babyface right now. I would think Chris Jericho, isn't the Inner Circle a group of heels? Then why does everyone sing the songs when Chris Jericho comes out? I don't get a lot of federations, and NXT is thrown in there a ton, to where I don't understand what baby faces or heels are anymore. Is it because I'm old? Or is there such a thing as baby faces and heels? Is there really such a thing as heroism and villainy anymore? Is it just people doing things for the sake of doing things? I don't know. Mashoon bringing it up. Chris Jericho turns 50 this month. 50 years old. Yeah, we gotta stop this. We really have to stop this. But it's Chris Jericho. He's just going to keep on doing what he wants to do. He won't get into the WWE Hall of Fame until he's 65 years old, until it's beyond anyone remembering what he ever did on AEW. Yeah. Jericho can do whatever the hell he wants, though. I got no problem with it. It's just, I don't know what he is. And I want to invest. I want to invest in AEW. I want to be a part of it. But I get confused very easily here, especially when it's MJF and Chris Jericho, a heel versus heel match, which are the worst matches. Heel versus heel, and face versus face matches are the worst, okay? Because you're either sitting on your hands or you're cheering the whole damn time. I don't know. It's confusing as all hell. So again, I'm not really sold on tuning in to AEW for the MJFs and the Chris Jerichos. But one thing that I think I might be interested in, it's simple. Mediocre Lewis, see you later. It's simple. It's not too easily contrived. You're not insulted by it. You don't feel like you're being talked down to or being condescended upon. That how the WWE constantly repeats itself to drive into your brain what's happening. You don't get that with this. I'm talking about Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy had a match against some guy from the Dark Order or something like that. Best friends of Chucky T and Trent. They're going to be having a program with Miro and Kip, whatever his name is. Whatever. Don't tell me his last name. I don't care. But there is just something about Orange Cassidy and Best Friends to where I don't want them to have titles. I don't give a shit if they have titles or not. It's just that graphic right there of the two coming to the center to hug, Orange Cassidy in the middle, and the quick zoom back. God, I love that. That is fantastic stuff. Hug, whoop, love it. I will never forget when they first did that camera thing. I think it was the first episode or second episode of AEW. And damn it, Excalibur gave the line of give the people what they want. And man, does it latch on. This is great. Okay. That's the one good thing that I will watch AEW for is Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Trent's mom driving them to the ring in her minivan. Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho having a mimosa match. I mean, stuff like that. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So it doesn't matter what they're doing. I will always love this thing. I just don't want them to be having titles. I don't want them going after titles. I don't want them getting serious. I don't want them getting a case of the badasseries or anything like that. This is just a feel-good, you laugh when it happens group. I don't know what it is when Trent turns his head on the left and the pan happens. God, the timing is fantastic. These guys have got it down. God, I love it. All right, so I've always been sold on Orange Cassidy. But I mean always before AEW came around, where we had to educate ourselves on who Orange Cassidy was. But damn it, I love it. Love it. So you'll get me on Best Friends. You'll get me on that. Number 2 from AEW Full Gear. There was a cinematic match involving the Matt Hardy and the Sammy Guevara. The Elite Deletion. Another delete fucking thing from the corporation of insanity known as Matt Hardy with his shiny, shiny teeth. Here's Matt Hardy with a monster truck running over Sammy Guevara's golf cart. That was orgasmic. That's what Matt Hardy says. This stuff, the delete stuff from Matt Hardy, was funny, like, what, 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Are we still on this? I mean, is this still a thing? Is the Matt Hardy deletion shit still a thing? Granted, in this Elite Deletion, we had appearances by the Puerto Rican guys on Sammy Guevara's side. We had an appearance by Private Party on Matt Hardy's side. And then on the Sammy Guevara side of the Inner Circle was an appearance by Gangrel. And then on Matt Hardy's side came the Hurricane Helms. Hurricane Helms can show up. He's right there down the street from Matt Hardy in Cameron, which is seriously not but an hour and a half drive from me. It's Cameron, North Carolina is in the middle of bumfuck. Okay, there's no major highway that goes to it, but I've seen the place. I haven't been to Matt Hardy's place, but final deletion between Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy was 5 years ago. Are we still on this kick? I mean, is this still a thing? Is it? I don't think it is. I think we're past it now. I don't know. And even if you threw as many other WWE tropes or people in there that you could, does it make it any better? I don't think so. Matt Hardy has got to be reaching what? I think he's 45. I think he's 44 or 45 years old. Running over Sammy Guevara in a golf cart who is almost half his age. I don't know. Is this seriously still a thing? Is this seriously still a thing? Is this a reason to tune into AEW? I don't think I'm going to be seeing Hurricane or Gangrel show up on an episode of AEW Dynamite anytime soon. And I totally get it. Well, dog, it's just like the cinematic matches with WWE. Suspend your disbelief. Logic doesn't exist. I get it. Totally get it. Okay? But seriously, this match, this stuff happening at the Hardy compound is 5 years old. The stuff happening with the WWE is not even less than a year old. And they're doing different crap. We've been in a cemetery. We've been in a swamp. We've been in an empty warehouse. We've been... Where else have we been? I don't know. Matt Hardy's 46, Sammy Guevara's 27. Seriously, we're still doing this. All right, fine. But I mean, it's not a reason to tune into AEW. It really isn't a reason to tune into AEW. So, yeah, I don't know. Matt Hardy isn't going to really be showing up a whole lot on the TV anytime soon anyway. He does this weird, wacky shit. So, I don't know. I get best friends more than I get Matt Hardy. I get this more than I get Matt Hardy. And I guess it's because this is just newer to me, the best friends. I like that way more than stuff that happened 5 years ago and is being rehashed and rehashed and rehashed. So that's just me. Finally, my number one takeaway from AEW Full Gear, even though I really haven't seen it, I'd like some people to sell me on it if I should watch it. But I'm talking about the 5 things that stuck out in my mind when I saw GIFs and highlights and results. And I bring up GIFs because then that kind of gives me an idea of what was on the show. I can't just base it purely on results, for crying out loud. But the big thing that stuck out to me from the show has nothing to do with a Darby Allin, skinny fuck dressed up as a skeleton or a video game character that he's just a stunt man. It's not FT Dar and Young FT Dar. It's not the Young Bucks and whoever the fuck they call themselves now, because I can't stomach Young Bucks for anything. And it wasn't Omega versus Adam Page. Throughout this entire calendar year on AEW Dynamite, Adam Page has had more emotions than an ex-girlfriend going through 3 broken relationships. Okay? There's a lot of emotion happening in Adam Page that we will never feel in our lifetimes. So I don't know how anyone can ever identify with that watching AEW. So, what am I thinking of? Here we see from the pre-match going into the pay-per-view, Serena Deeb celebrating her win over Allison Kay, and in comes Thunder Rosa to taunt her for a rematch for the NWA Women's title. The NWA Women's title, not the AEW Women's title, NWA Women's title. The last episode of AEW Dynamite that I watched was, I believe, 3 weeks ago, where it was the 1-year anniversary of AEW getting their deal with TNT. And watching that, it floored me that an hour and a quarter into a 2-hour show, we finally had a women's match. And the women's match was just a championship match between Hikaru Shida and I think it was Big Swole was who it was. And I was left incredibly deflated. Like, I didn't see... I was wanting to be sold on AEW women. I have been told for so long that AEW's female division stinks, and I needed to be convinced otherwise. I could not be sucked into that vacuum. I kind of was. Nyla Rose would come out saying that she wanted a shot at the title, I guess. I don't know what other women are in AEW, but I do know one thing. I did see the match between Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb involving the NWA title. And that was compelling. In fact, this GIF right here of just this, of Thunder Rosa approaching Serena Deeb for that title, is more compelling than anything I've seen produced from AEW's women's division. Anything. This has more intrigue than AEW's women's division. 3 women, Allison Kay, Serena Deeb, and Thunder Rosa, have outperformed the entire AEW women's roster. Think about that. And name who is on the AEW women's roster. Name it. They are better than Britt Baker, for light years better than Britt Baker. Okay? Light years better. Who else? Nyla Rose, Big Swole, Nyla Rose, don't get me wrong, is great for the trans community, but sells way too much for a big girl. She shouldn't be selling that much. Hikaru Shida can only yell, anger, rage, yell so much. Miho, the chick that weighs like 25 pounds soaking wet, she's nowhere to be found. They just got Taynara Conti from the WWE. What's she doing? Not a whole lot. Anna Jay with the Dark Order, not a whole lot. There's a chick with Kip Sabian. What's she doing? Not a whole lot. Look, this graphic right here of Thunder Rosa going after Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's title is far more compelling than anything the AEW women have put together in the past 9 months. And this is coming from someone who just hodgepodges in now, every now and then. Josh Boutwell, I know you don't listen to this show, but I need you to sell me on AEW's female roster. You watch this show every week. You watch their pay-per-views. You tell me WWE sucks and how AEW is so much better. Help me out. Help me out a little bit here. Sell me. I'm open-minded. Everyone knows how incredibly open-minded I am. I will try anything. By God, I take shots of tequila because I'm wrong. Okay? I'm open-minded. I'll try anything. I'll do anything once, twice if you're lucky. 7 times, in fact. So seriously, AEW's women's division sucks. Give me more of this. In fact, give me just more of NWA in general. I miss NWA Power. NWA Power was so much better. Studio crowd and Aaron Stevens. Now, Aaron Stevens is with, I think he's with MLW now, or he's with another promotion right now. I miss Aaron Stevens. But, oh well. We got to take what we can get right now because of spiky Nerf ball and people not getting their shit together. Let's go over to the news. Speaking of spiky Nerf ball and people not getting their shit together. I'm not sure if this falls under people not getting their shit together, but sure as hell makes everyone wonder what the heck just happened. Reported last Monday, Kylie Ray announcing that she is no longer a professional wrestler and says that she is unwell after she was lifted from TNA Impact's card of Bound for Glory a couple of weeks ago. She made the announcement on her Patreon account stating that she is currently unwell and is hoping to fulfill all obligations when she is better. In her statement, she says, "Good morning. I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused and miscommunication. I am currently unwell. I'm also sorry that I wasn't able to get this out before your monthly subscription charge. I wanted to take this time to say I am no longer a professional wrestler and am currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand. When I am well, I will try to fulfill any obligations that I've missed. During this time, most tiers will not be able to be fulfilled. Please feel free to unsubscribe from this account. Thank you for understanding." She made her debut with AEW at their Double or Nothing event 2 Mays ago, and she was set to perform again at Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view to face off against Deonna Purrazzo for their Knockouts title. This, did she have panic attack, or she's worked out? She's worked to death, and she just couldn't stand the social media and the bombardment and everything. Someone find out for me how old she is. She looks like she's in her 20s and very fragile. What I mean by fragile is that when a lot of shit's happened in social media and you're told all the time to do a lot of PR and you're tugged left and right to do as much as you can to get the name out and the brand out and all of that stuff. And then you've got to reply to everyone that replies to you. And you've got a Patreon account. You might have a Kickstarter account. You're being pulled in every direction. You're being worked thin. And that sounds to me like what Kylie Ray is. She was being tugged left and right by so many different forces that it just caused her to slam on the brakes, throw all the luggage out of the car, and not exactly torch the car, but take the keys and throw them into a field. Andrew telling me she's notorious for no-showing. Okay. So there's something different. Actually, should we do some investigating? I don't want to do any investigating right now. I don't want to make any assumptions. The only assumption that I can make, though, is that I wish her well. I hope she becomes well and gets better than being unwell. But at the same time, be professional about it. Communicate. Tell people what's happening. You've got obligations to fulfill and you don't feel that you can fulfill them, let them know. And let them know why. And they will deem if it's credible or not. You might not get sued. You might not get taken to court. Maybe that's it. Maybe she can't fulfill all the obligations that she gets. I don't know. I think she's being stretched incredibly thin and just cannot handle the work and the stress. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Spiking Nerf ball news. WWE is reportedly instituting a new work-from-home policy for its employees. Not the performers at the Thunderdome. They can't do that. No, they can't do that. According to a report from PW Insider, WWE held a virtual all-hands-on-deck town hall-style meeting for employees Thursday morning with Stephanie McMahon, Nicholas Khan, Sarah Cummins, the Senior VP of Consumer Products, and new CFO Christina Salin, among others. It doesn't sound like a town hall to me. That just sounds like an introductory meeting of all the employees and bigwigs to meet the new people who have been brought on that we talked about for the past month. It is being said that the company is instituting a flexible work policy for its employees going forward. Depending on their role in the WWE going forward, employees can choose to work from the office or home and are not required to return full-time to the office. Also, according to the report, the WWE is still moving forward with their new headquarters in Stamford. Salin specifically stated that going forward, she will be doing presentations on the company's quarterly earnings for employees so she and the company can directly communicate with its employees. What a novel concept! The presentations are said to happen after the company's earnings calls. During the question and answer portion of the town hall, live events were brought up and the company stated that they don't know when they can resume them given the current COVID-19 environment. It was noted the town hall was mostly positive, with the company thanking everyone for their hard work and stressing they want to increase communication so that employees have a greater awareness of how WWE is doing. What a novel concept! Communicating to your own employees about what is going down. That's an idea. Right? The last thing you want are your employees to be going out to other avenues saying, I don't know what's happening. I'm worried about our current status. Wouldn't it be great to just eliminate that all from the inside with, yes, it might be propaganda. They can go ahead and start saying, oh, we're doing great, Jimmy. Keep working. It doesn't matter. Yes, communicate with your employees. That's what you're supposed to do. Maybe that's what they've always been doing. Maybe it's what they've always been doing. I mean, honestly, I think if they had this company-wide town hall style meeting or whatever, it was to introduce the new heads of office that they brought in. That's all. Every company does that. And every company institutes that they will be more transparent with their employees when they bring in a new number cruncher, when they bring in a new senior VP. That's what happens. That's what you do. More spiky Nerf ball news. Scorpio Sky was pulled from last week's edition of AEW Dynamite over COVID-19 precautions. AEW announced that he had been pulled over their Twitter account, saying through contact tracing, AEW learned that Scorpio Sky was exposed to someone with COVID-19 within the last 2 weeks. An initial test was negative, but AEW has decided to postpone tonight's scheduled match that he was to have. I don't know. Who the hell knows? You big dum-dum. AEW Executive VP Cody announced that he has regained the use of the Rhodes name. After Dynamite went off the air last week, AEW Executive VP Cody announced to the live crowd that, quote, as of this morning, end quote, he once again had 2 names, and whether Justin Roberts announced him as it or not, he regained the use of Rhodes. Cody had not been able to use the Rhodes name since his departure from the WWE in 2016. Earlier that Wednesday, various media outlets reported that the WWE had filed a cancellation notice with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for Cody Rhodes. Cody had filed for the Rhodes trademark last July, but the WWE opposed the trademark despite it expiring. Twitter user has the video here of the announcement.
I have not had the opportunity to speak out here at the end of the night since we have welcomed fans back. How's everybody doing? Is everybody coming to full gear?
I guess.
Hey, where are you two? Hey, it is not easy. Austin Gunn, Dynamite debut. Billy Gunn. That was Billy's first TV appearance in 30 years. Billy, give him a double bicep. Show him what you're working with. Come on, G him up. Give me a drum roll, please. All right, we have a bunch of wonderful dark matches. I'm not going to be out here too long. I wanted to share something that is private between us. It is not a social exclusive. It's private. As of this morning, I no longer just have one name. Whether Justin Roberts says it or not. It feels really good. It feels really good to be Cody Rhodes again.
Live video taken from last Wednesday's AEW Dynamite and Dark tapings of Cody Rhodes announcing that he has regained the use of the Rhodes name. Okie doke. Olive branch? WWE doesn't really see the point in holding on to it. Yeah. There's no point in holding on to it, really. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. Sure. You want to call it an olive branch from the WWE, sure. But honestly, all it is the WWE's not going to make any money from the Cody Rhodes name. They just aren't. They make more money from the Dusty Rhodes name. Yeah. And you're not getting that. I'm sorry. You're just not going to get that. Finally, AEW has announced the date for their next pay-per-view. AEW Full Gear finishing up last night. The next pay-per-view for AEW will be February the 27th of next year. February the 27th. You know, when Cody made the announcement when AEW was first forming, and there were talks about their pay-per-view structure. Cody Rhodes brought up, and I'll call him Cody Rhodes, they brought up a lot about how pay-per-views have oversaturated professional wrestling, where pay-per-views are no longer a big thing. They're now just a monthly thing that happens. It's no longer, wow, okay, WrestleMania is coming up. Yeah, that's great, but, you only had 5 weeks to build it up. Revolution from AEW is on February the 27th, 2021. How many weeks build is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We got a 16-week build for the next AEW pay-per-view. Yeah, I think we can do that. I've got enough faith that we can have a good enough hype build for a pay-per-view that far away. Jamel saying, damn, this really was a slow news week. Yeah, it was a pretty slow news week, dude. Oh, no, actually, I bring that back. There was some news that came down the pipe this week, this morning, actually. But I've chosen not to bring it up on here because I don't believe it deserves any traction. It is on Wrestleview.com. It's one of the first items you'll see when you go to the page. But in my opinion, I don't think it's worth talking about. I do not want to give those kind of individuals credence or a platform or a podium at all. But it's on Wrestleview.com if you wish to look at it. I don't have a problem with the item being up on WrestleView.com. We are a news site after all. I mean, it's what we're supposed to do, but I'll be honest, it's just I have the ability to choose what I think is relevant and what is not when it comes to the wrestling news on this program. So once again, if you go to WrestleView.com. You'll see the very first item that shows up for Sunday, November the 8th. Read it at your own discretion if you wish. It's up to you. That's all. That's all. I don't really want to make a bigger deal out of it than it already is. Go to the injury list. SmackDown is injury-free, but not so much on the other ends. Over on the Raw side, Becky Lynch has a tiny human in her tom-tom. She's not going to be back around until WrestleMania times. Jinder Mahal, reparative surgery on his right knee, the same knee where he had a ruptured patella. He should have been back by now. We may see him return sometime this month. Edge, torn tricep. He's going to be back for WrestleMania times. Charlotte Flair, cosmetic surgery on a bad boob. She won't be back until maybe Survivor Series times. We'll see. Eric, elbow surgery. Had a screw going into his tricep from reparative elbow surgery. He's not going to be back until Royal Rumble. Ivar, clavicle surgery. Not cervical. Clavicle surgery. Next Stinger, he's not going to be back until SummerSlam times of next year. Mickie James had a broken nose. She was supposed to be back for Hell in a Cell times, but Mickie James is not back. So we don't know what her status is. Don't know there. Karrion Kross, separated shoulder. He should be due back sometime around the end of this month. Tegan Nox, third time with a torn ACL in her career. If she is not back by SummerSlam of next year, she is not coming back. Ridge Holland, a ruptured patella, live on an episode of NXT. He will not be back until SummerSlam times of next year. And finally, Fonz Balor, broken jaw. The NXT champion had to have jaw surgery. We have not heard anything regarding his jaw, so either he may not be in time for the Survivor Series times. He may be relinquishing the NXT title. Twice in a row, the NXT title being relinquished. So we'll see what happens there. But as far as we know, those are the people that are hurt. What about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? What about the people who haven't been on WWE television or pay-per-view for, say, 3 weeks? they end up on a very special list. A list of my own design. A list that in 7 days we'll be celebrating just as much as you were celebrating yesterday. Ticker tape, streamers, confetti, all forms of trash are going to be falling onto the streets because this man has become only the third ever Golden Gallon. It is a time to believe. Yes, it is, Kit. There is no way this can be taken away from us. Raw Underground took Arturo Ruas away from us, but there is no way they're going to take this great moment away from us. Ladies and gentlemen, brace for impact. Turn your head if you're squeamish. It's the WWE milk carton. Oh, count all the votes, count all the shots, count all the locks. Doug sucks. That's all I could come up with. I'm getting really bad at those spontaneous songs from Milky, you know? I don't know what's happening to me. I need to work on them. I need to practice them a little more, you know? I need to take Milky more seriously. You guys in the chat room love him a hell of a lot more than I do, but I need to take him more seriously. All right, let's start things off. He's not injured anymore. He's completely healthy. He is on the main roster. Boa, the Chinese male performer of NXT. Haven't seen him since the October 14th edition of NXT, where he played the role of, what was the name of the mailman from Cheers? Is that Dan? Dale. Was it Dale? Dale the postman? Whatever. Postmaster Boa, where he gave a letter to Xia Li, and Xia Li's been like, dude, I gotta win a match or something. So Boa hasn't been on the TV since the October 14th edition. Aaliyah hasn't been on TV since the October 14th episode of NXT, where she took a powder to the debut of Toni Storm, who reminds us that every day is leg day. Aaliyah, we haven't seen her since then, and that also means we haven't seen Robert Stone since October the 14th of this year. No, Norm is not the mailman. No, the dude with the mustache. Robert Stone being on the milk carton should never happen. But Shotzi Blackheart's tank was run over by Candice LeRae's monster truck. Matt Hardy had a monster truck. What was with last week and everyone having a monster truck? Cliff. Thank you, Kit. Cliff the mailman. Boa is, from now on, hold on. From now on, he's Cliff. Boa will now be known as Cliff Clavin. Yeah. Boa, you are Cliff. From the beautiful town of Shanghai. No, the Shanghai subdivision of Boston. Tamina, haven't seen her since the October 12th edition of Monday Night Raw, where she took part in a battle royale of the Vagina Persuasion to figure out who would be going to Survivor Series. Yes, who would be part of the Raw Women's Survivor Series team. How many Vagina Battle Royales is the WWE going to have? I think they've had 4 this year. 4. 2 of them with NXT. That's weird. Aleister Black. We haven't seen him since that October 12th episode of Monday Night Raw, where he faced off against Kevin Owens in a match to prolong their program. And then he would end up being drafted to SmackDown, I think. Or is he on Raw now? I don't know where he is. The only thing that I do know is that he hasn't been seen in nearly a month. Didn't he have his eye poked out by Seth Rollins or something, and he's still pissed about that? I don't know what's going on with Aleister Black. And I really haven't seen a whole lot of people up in arms about it. Because I always thought that really of all the people that are on the roster, you know, like I see a lot of people up in arms about how Cesaro's not being used and Shinsuke Nakamura's not being used. I thought that Aleister Black was one of those. What's going on here? I don't know. Andrade. Haven't seen him since that episode of Monday Night Raw on October the 12th. I think he faced off against Angel Garza. I think it was. This one, I don't get either. Is he still on Raw? I can't remember if he was drafted away either. I don't know what's happened with a lot of these people after the draft because we haven't seen them since the draft. I don't know if it's important enough or not. Andrade, I thought, was a big deal. The repackaging Angel Garza as a really bad bachelor giving roses to people, which I think is great. That's fantastic. Zelina Vega's over on SmackDown being the female jobber over there. This one I don't get, though. Jamel says that Andrade concerns me. Last thing I saw from him was his Charlotte's Halloween pictures where they were Batman and Catwoman. Okay, but that was a week ago. That was last week. It doesn't concern me that we haven't seen activity of him on social media. I just don't know what the hell they got in mind for him on television. I don't know where he is. Apollo Crews, haven't seen him since the October 5th episode of Monday Night Raw, where he teamed up with Ricochet to face off against Shelton Benjamin and Bobo Lashley. He's supposed to be on SmackDown now, and he hasn't shown up since. Humberto Carrillo, a regular on the WWE milk carton. He teamed up with Dominic to face off against Murphy and Rollins on a random episode of Monday Night Raw on October the 5th, because that was a Teddy Long special.
Now, if all four of you want to mix it up, then we're going to do it right. I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Yeah, that's what always happens when you got programs going on. You just go ahead and make it a Teddy Long special. He's doing shit on 205 Live. He's had some really good matches against other people. Yeah, that's fantastic. But he's horrible on regular television, so stop putting him on the main roster. Mercedes Martinez, no clue what's happening here. She was part of Retribution, but then now she's not. Seems that Mia Yim, or Reckoning, is the only female of Retribution, and so what's going on here? It kind of looks like we're just going to write out her contract and she's going to be freewheeling after this. Expect her on AEW sometime next year. Kalisto. Haven't seen him since the October 2nd episode of SmackDown, where he was at ringside for a 6-man tag team match that involved the other 2 members of Lucha House Party. Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik, the other 2 members of Lucha House Party, are on Monday Night Raw having fun with the 24/7 title, while Kalisto, the serious wrestling member of the troupe, is on SmackDown and has yet to show up. Lord knows what's going on here. Lord knows. Jamel saying that Mercedes Martinez will probably be repackaged and show up on NXT. It'll be a repackaging for the 3rd time. I don't know about that. Marina Shafir, haven't seen her since the September 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw, where she took part. No, I'm sorry. That was NXT. September 23rd episode of NXT, she took part in a battle royale of the Vagina Persuasion, the second one of NXT's, to find out number 1 contender for the NXT Women's title, and Candice LeRae ended up winning that one. And Candice LeRae ended up having 2 title matches for that. The previous stalwart of the WWE milk carton, Arturo Ruas. Haven't seen him since the September 21st episode of Monday Night Raw. He was underground. Underground no longer exists. It's been filled with concrete, and so now we don't have an underground. The Thunderdome has now, a storm cellar in case a hurricane or a tornado shows up. Riddick Moss was underground too, but he has come up for air. Unfortunately, he's probably now lost in that same suburban cul-de-sac that he was lost in for nearly 6 months when he was 24/7 champion and lost it to R-Truth. But there are other people who were underground and have emerged onto the main roster. Dabba-Kato. Babatunde. Dabba-Kato, the big boy from underground. We haven't seen him since September the 21st either. He is now officially part of the WWE main roster. He is on the main roster page now. He was drafted to Raw, and we have not seen him since. We can try to fantasy book all we want, okay? Something tells me there are going to be a lot of factions on Raw. We are going to be approaching the days of Los Boricuas and DOA and Nation of Domination. There's Retribution. There's the Hurt Business. And then there's going to be the Underground, where it's going to be Dabba-Kato, Riddick Moss, Arturo Ruas, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke, who hasn't been seen since the September 7th edition of Monday Night Raw. She was underground as well. Faction warfare revived 20 years later. Gil's in the chat room going, wee! Yeah, imagine that. All 5 of those people who were previously on Underground forming a faction. And they're just street fighters. They just go around there, they just beat the shit out of people. They don't have a grudge. They don't have a plan. Retribution thinks too much. They got way too many feelings. Shafir, Duke, Dabba-Kato, Ruas, and Moss. Just going around just beating the shit out of people because they feel like beating the shit out of someone. They don't adhere to the rules at all. That's the big thing. I want everyone who took part in Underground, they get signed to a contract, and whenever they have a match, they are disqualified all the time. They are constantly beating someone up against the corner, against the ropes. They don't relinquish a hold. They don't do anything. They just beat the crap out of people. They don't care. That's what's missing right now, I think. Retribution has too many feelings because of Mustafa Ali. I pronounced their name right. It's Mustafa Ali. Hurt Business wants money. Hurt Business wants money. Underground, they just want to beat the crap out of you. They just want to beat the crap out of you, except for Scarlett. Scarlett hasn't shown up since the August 26th episode of NXT, where a monologue was delivered by her hubby, Karrion Kross, when he was relinquishing the NXT title because of a separated shoulder from NXT TakeOver 30. Just because Karrion Kross is injured and not on the milk carton doesn't mean that Scarlett can't be on the milk carton. She is perfectly healthy. She'll be showing up whenever Karrion Kross does. Induce Share. Haven't seen them since the June 24th episode of NXT, where a monologue was being delivered on their behalf by Malcolm Bivens. Induce Share has not been on TV for nearly 5 months because of the color green. Malcolm Bivens, on the other hand, I have no clue. Good luck with these guys. Malcolm Bivens is probably going to be hitting the road sometime soon. All that he does is he kind of puts tongue-in-cheek stuff on the Twitter, but he hasn't been doing anything at all. Mojo Rawley, haven't seen him since the June 19th episode of SmackDown, where he had a match against Shorty G to confirm to us and verify that Shorty G was a thing. That was the second time that we were being told that Shorty G was a thing. We are now up to 3 times that Chad Gable is supposed to be a thing. He has now changed his name from Shorty G to Chad Gable. Mojo Rawley was supposed to help out with this. Apparently, he did not. Forgotten Sons. Haven't seen them since the May 29th episode of SmackDown, where they delivered a monologue and gave a wacky salute or whatnot. Jackson Riker has taken off his Twitter account. He has deleted his Twitter account. I guess apparently he just couldn't handle all the flack he was getting from posting biblical quotes the entire time and tweeting out great things about President Trump. Just a guess. It's just a guess. Chelsea Green. Someone help me figure this one out. Haven't seen her since May the 27th of NXT. She teamed up with Charlotte Flair to take on Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. Her team was victorious. After the match, she kicked her manager, Robert Stone, to the curb. Since then, Robert Stone, throughout this entire calendar year, from May the 27th till now, has been on television every week except 5 weeks. Chelsea Green has not been seen since. The only thing Chelsea Green has been doing since May the 27th is posting old bikini photos. She even admitted on Twitter that's the last time she appeared on television and the last time she wrestled. Hasn't said she's injured. Hasn't said anything else. Which leads me to believe she stinks at her job. They're just riding out the contract is what it sounds like. Mansoor, haven't seen him since the February 27th Super Showdown event out of Jeddah, Riyadh, or Bismarck, South Dakota, or wherever the hell it is. He faced off against Dolph Ziggler for his hometown crowd of South Dakota. He does matches on 205 Live, but that doesn't matter. He's on the main roster. He's supposed to be on NXT or something. But he only performs in front of his hometown crowd of South Dakota. Kona Reeves, haven't seen him since the February 19th episode of NXT, where he took a powder to Keith Lee in less than 25 seconds. Vanessa Bourne, haven't seen her since the January 15th episode of NXT, where she took part in the first battle royale of the Vagina Persuasion to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's title. That was won by Bianca Belair. How many weeks away? We are about 9 weeks away from christening the first female golden gallon of the WWE milk carton. But we're not there yet. We're not sure if it's going to happen. Just not yet. But it's going to happen. Grab your sources. Raise them on high. Because next week, barring some cataclysmic event, we christen a golden gallon to the WWE milk carton. What is a golden gallon, Doug? The hell are you talking about? Well, a golden gallon is someone who is on the WWE main roster, according to WWE.com's roster page, fully healthy, and has not appeared on WWE television or pay-per-view for an entire calendar year. There are only 2 members of this prestigious group, and those are the Colognes, Primo and Epico, who went nearly 15 months on the main roster without appearing on television. Ladies and gentlemen, next week it is happening. Grash, someone, make me a graphic. I gotta have it, because I am inept at graphic arts, but the only thing I can do are these stupid milk carton photos. Bo Dallas. We haven't seen him since the November 15th episode of SmackDown from last year, where he, Drew Gulak, and Curtis Axel were in the ring making fun of Braun Strowman leading up to Survivor Series of last year. Since then, Curtis Axel is no longer with the company. Drew Gulak is over on Monday Night Raw chasing after. He is the 24/7 champion. He was also enjoying a program alongside Daniel Bryan and versus Daniel Bryan. But Bo Dallas is nowhere to be found. Oh, yeah, and Braun Strowman thinks he's a cage fighter now or something. I don't know. Bo Dallas, please. We are 1 week away. Precisely 1 week away. They cannot take this away from me. They did it with Arturo Ruas, where they just brought in the underground. Oh, here's Shane McMahon. Here's his UFC wet dream. We're jizz all over Doug's dreams. This is my dream. It will not be taken away from me. I've worked too hard doing absolutely nothing but watch your stupid television show and document everything that happens. 7 days away. Bo Dallas, the new golden gallon of the WWE milk carton. When this happens, beyond that, we will take him off the milk carton. He is enshrined forever. Don't have to document it anymore. And then we start staring at Vanessa Bourne making history, just like Kamala Harris did, the first female on the WWE milk carton, though I'm sure Kamala Harris will do a lot more in 1 year than Vanessa Bourne has ever done in a calendar year. All right. That's the milk carton. Who else is going to be showing up on this thing next week? Barring the stalwart getting... Whoa. We got a lot of people in NXT that'll be showing up. A lot of people in NXT. Ironically, someone from SmackDown. I can't wait to rail on that one. But yeah. Got a lot of people showing up. Can't wait to talk about that and bitch about it. Okay. Final farewell for the 24th time is happening in 2 weeks at Survivor Series. They're celebrating the 30-year career of El Undertaker. What is Japanese and what is Spanish for Undertaker? Doug, let's do that right now. Google Translate. Google Translate. I never took Spanish. I took Latin. Detect a language. English. El Undertaker. El Enterrador. Yes. So we celebrate the career, the 30 años jabo of Enterrador. Did I get that right? I suck at Spanish. Spanglish. Mexicanese. I suck at that language. I'm not better at any other language. Enterrador. El Enterrador. Trying to remember, there was a time where I think there was going to be a tour of the WWE in Mexico City, and Fonz Balor was dressed up as the demon for this tour, and he was facing off against Bray Wyatt as his moniker, and it was something like El Diablo, Fortano Diablo, Fonz Balor. But no, celebrating the 30 años jabo of El Enterrador is the Undertaker. So, in celebration of that, we are going to hope not to get busted by the YouTube Gestapo. Yeah. We'll hope not to get busted by the Gestapo and watch a very obscure match of The Undertaker in The Undertaker Persona. I have seen this match once before, but it's been a very long time, and I was still in awe of it. And so hopefully you'll be in awe of it too. If you've seen it before, don't be an asshole and spoil it for people. If you haven't seen this match before, you're in for a treat. And again, welcome to the final episode of Wrestleview Weekly on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. You see the picture? You see it? Yep, this is what we're gonna be watching. Why am I talking like John Wayne? I'll tell you right now, we're gonna watch El Enterrador. I believe this is from 1997. And I'm right now looking up the stuff of this. October the 10th, 1997. It's from Michinoku Pro Wrestling, which then Jinsei Shinzaki was the president of Michinoku Pro Wrestling. This was an intra-promotional match done by the WWF and Michinoku Pro Wrestling in 97 when there was a deal or intra-promotional kind of cross-branding concept between MPW and the WWF to where you had talent like Taka Michinoku, Hakushi, all of Kaientai. You had an influx of Japanese performers in the mid to almost to late 90s coming into the WWE. And in response, the WWE had this relationship with MPW, with FMW, alongside WWF's subsidiary ECW. Admit it, you better admit it, and it's true, ECW has always been a subsidiary of the WWF. So you had ECW working with FMW, MPW working with the WWF. So one organization of the WWF working alongside two Japanese federations. So you had other performers like Masato Tanaka going to ECW. And you had tons of ECW performers going to FMW in Japan to do crossover events. But here is a treat. I remember watching this one a while back, and the story behind this is fantastic as well. The WWF, when they would do matches with Michinoku Pro Wrestling or All Japan back in the late 80s, early 90s, they would do exhibition matches in Japan, sending their talents like Hulk Hogan on over there. They sent the big talents. They sent the big names. And Undertaker at this time was a big name, but they would always do an exhibition match. And the thing about exhibition matches is normally, you know, it's just your one big star from one organization, one big star from the other, and you see what would happen. It's, you know, the Rock'em Sock'em robots. You know, there's no story behind it. There was no story behind it. It was like seeing champion versus champion. But this match in particular is incredibly interesting when it comes to the exhibition matches of cross-promotional branding or cross-brand promotions, whatever you want to use here. This exhibition match sticks in my mind because it is one match that tells a story. It tells a story alongside Michinoku Pro Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling storyline with Jinsei Shinzaki, or in this case, Hakushi. Because that's what we're watching from October the 10th, 1997. Hakushi versus The Undertaker in Michinoku Pro Wrestling in Japan. The storyline leading to this match involves a match Hakushi was in with the Great Muta at the previous big major pay-per-view in the Tokyo Dome by All Japan. Hakushi, or Jinsei Shinzaki, versus the Great Muta. It was a disgusting, hardcore match. Disgusting, hardcore match. I mean, there have been some brutal, hardcore. We've seen hardcore matches like Hell in a Cell and anything in FMW and stuff that I've shown you with Japanese death matches. This one was a brutal match. But it ended up Hakushi, Jinsei Shinzaki, being buried alive and quote-unquote killed by the Great Muta. 1 month later comes this exhibition match where it's The Undertaker versus the quote-unquote dead Hakushi. I believe Hakushi would perform after this or whatnot, but just keep that in mind. Okay? Hakushi is the character within this fantasy realm is seriously, legitimately dead and is being resurrected for this match against, of all people who would conjure the dead, the Undertaker. It is a fabulous piece of storytelling. It is a fabulous, fabulous piece of exhibitionary storytelling. Michinoku Pro was in for a treat on this one. And I can never, something like this will never happen on any scale like this, okay? So, sit back. If you have seen this match, awesome. I'm right there with you, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm going to kind of do play-by-plays and talk about it a little bit during this watch-along. If you have not seen it, you are in for a treat. This is really interesting to watch. So, here we go. From October the 10th, 1997, obscure Undertaker match. It is Undertaker versus Hakushi. Here, hold on. I got to turn it up a little bit for you. There we go. This match is not on the WWE Network. That's why we won't be dinged by them for this. I need to get earplug. I need to get my earbuds. Enjoy the entrance of the Undertaker. Actually, I'm sorry. This is the entrance of Hakushi. Hakushi is dead. The lights are out in the arena. No. Who is coming out? Who's coming out? Who's coming out right now? I'm trying to remember. I think it's Hakushi that comes out. I loved Hakushi when he was in the WWE. I just love eerie, religious stuff in professional wrestling. Yeah, this is Hakushi's entrance. Serene music. God, I love that creepiness of it, you know? Same music that he had in the WWE. We see men barefoot in shredded black tatters walking through the curtain, and they look to have a casket on their shoulders. Yeah, this is Hakushi's music from the WWE. This is from October the 10th, 1997. Nearly 23 years ago. There it is. Inside that casket, God, look at the emblem on that casket, just lighting up. It's a large casket that these 6 men are carrying on their shoulders to the ring. This is Hakushi's entrance. Hakushi is dead, according to by the Great Muda, destroying him a month prior. These are not necessarily, I guess you could call these Japanese druids, but there aren't druids in Japan. So they are lifting up the bottom rope to push the casket into the ring. And that's tough. That is a thick casket. That is a very thick casket, but they have gotten it into the ring. And they are going to, I would imagine, pull it. They are pulling the casket. And we're hearing the announcers. We got a female and 2 male announcers. And you kind of hear in the sound, there's wind blowing. A cold, yeah, like there's wind blowing. You hear that. And here these Japanese, I want to say grave tenders. Let's call them cemetery tenders. They are setting up the casket. They're standing over it, and it looks like they are, they've lifted up the lid to the casket. Smoke has erupted. There's a big white cross on that casket. They've lifted up. Is making his entrance to Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Behind him is Bruce Pritchard, not as Brother Love, but just as his representative for the WWF. Bruce Pritchard is behind the Undertaker here, not acting as a handler, but as an American liaison. Undertaker is standing on the apron. Everyone rejoicing his entrance. Undertaker taking, no, without the hat, just the duster. No red highlights, nope, just old-fashioned Undertaker here. Teardrop Undertaker, I think is the best way to put it. Teardrop Undertaker. Here's the Undertaker lifting up his hands to signal the lights to come on. And there is Hakushi, lying face down in the center of the ring. Undertaker taking off his duster, handing it off to Bruce Pritchard, standing on the apron. This is emo eyeliner, eyeshadow Undertaker. The bell has rung, and Hakushi is slowly emerging to his knees, wearing the same tights and pants that he wore when the great Muta, quote-unquote, killed him a month ago. Undertaker with a chokehold, choke slam! Big choke slam! Immediately out of the gate, and Hakushi is getting up. This is Zombie Hakushi, taking a right hand by Undertaker. Zombie Hakushi wearing, again, I love, it's the same blood-stained pants and everything. I mean, this is the first zombie wrestler, Zombie Hakushi. I mean, this is fantastic. It is. It's fantastic storytelling that they're doing here, to where Hakushi is brought back to life and the Undertaker must subdue him. Yeah, that's right, Andrew. There's dirt all over Hakushi as well. Clothesline off of the corner, cover, kick out at 2. Undertaker bringing Hakushi up. But it's such an eerie match, okay? It's so eerie. The Undertaker going old school. Going up to the rope. Oh, old school. Going for the cover, kick out at 2.
アンダーテイカーが上になる。まさかこれをやりますか、アンダーテイカーが。
It is so eerie, this match, though, that you don't know really if there's a babyface or a heel because it just tells a story. Hakushi sent into the corner, over the top rope and onto the floor. Hakushi lying on the concrete floor. No padding. Undertaker just stepping over the top rope nonchalantly to the crowd's awe.
あ、そうですか。ははは。
Stiff right hand by Undertaker. And Zombie Hakushi just walking away. Zombie Hakushi just walking away. We got some nice white tablecloth tables along ringside for the commentators and ringside personnel. Undertaker going underneath the ropes to break the 10 count that he's used to, but it's actually a 20 count in Japan. He's counting. 4. Undertaker is in the ring waiting for Hakushi now to get in the ring. Hakushi makes his way up to the apron. Undertaker to welcome him in with a right hand to the face, taking him down to the apron. I'm just in awe of just this. I love how in Japanese wrestling, everyone in America who's a diehard wrestling fan loves how the Japanese are silent during their matches because they think it's a reverence or respect or something like that. But this match, they're telling a story and the crowd is silent watching this story. I mean, this is a very uneasy, right, Jamel? Suplexed into the ring is Hakushi. This is a very uneasy and awkward match to watch, the story that they are telling, okay? Undertaker for the cover, kick out it. No! Hakushi has a foot on the rope. It's a very odd match. Bruce Pritchard is walking around on the outside. He's just leaning against the ring, just as a regular manager. Off the ropes, Hakushi misses, ducks a clothesline, chop to the shoulder of the Undertaker. Another chop, and Undertaker's reeling. Undertaker selling it. Hakushi off the ropes, eats a boot. Off the ropes, misses an elbow drop, does the Undertaker. Undertaker sits up. Hakushi gets to a knee. I really did love the Hakushi character in WWE. I really did. Sent to the ropes is Hakushi into the corner. Boots up to take the Undertaker charging in. Hakushi head scissors take down. Cover, kick out at 1. I loved, there's certain characters that I loved in the WWE, just characters. Okay, and I loved the Hakushi character, the White Angel. He was a monk, Japanese monk. I loved that. There was just something eerie about it, you know? Being from America, and you didn't have access to the internet. You didn't know what the heck it was about. It was just eerie. Seeing this guy dressed in all white, and you saw him undress, and it looked like he had a Japanese restaurant menu tattooed on his back in front. It looked cool. I loved it. Undertaker with the chokehold, looking for another choke slam. Brought up, no! Hakushi flips over onto his feet. Catches the boot. Dragon screw. Dragon screw taking the Undertaker down. It's always mandatory, understand in professional wrestling, that when you're working on limbs, you always work on the left limb. It is always the left leg or the left arm. Always left. Hakushi going after the left leg. The Undertaker dragging him to the center of the ring. Here comes a knee drop. No, it's a headbutt to the kneecap. I don't know how that hurts, but okay. Headbutting that kneecap. Sure, okay. Hakushi measuring and constantly headbutting, just falling and headbutting Undertaker's leg. This is a match we should have watched for Halloween. You know, we should have watched this last week. This is the perfect Halloween match. Okay. Undertaker in the corner, Hakushi working him in the corner. Body slam. No, he's going to tie him to the tree of woe. Undertaker in the tree of woe. Undertaker in the tree of woe. That left leg getting wrapped up and getting headbutted by Hakushi or Shinzaki. Undertaker just end over end falls down. Jamel saying it right. Zombie cowboy mortician versus zombie Japanese monk. Undertaker's coming back. Headbutt to the Hakushi. Club to the back of the neck. Undertaker trying to shrug off his left leg. Just going to kick him. Standing on Hakushi's throat. Choking. Just literally just choking Hakushi as he's lying on his back. Undertaker just staring at the referee after the 5 count. Scaring the referee away. Undertaker sending Hakushi off the ropes. Misses the boot to the face. Hakushi kicks him in the left leg. Left leg kicking again. Taking the Undertaker down. Kicking his leg. Hakushi leaps to the top rope. Here comes a headbutt down to the kneecap. Bam! Just a falling headbutt. Doesn't even leap. Just nesty plunge down. God, I just love how they kept the same tights on Hakushi, telling that story. The dirt and blood all over him. God. Bruce Pritchard ushering people away. Hakushi, whee! Misses the crossbody. Undertaker catches him, drives him to the back into the ring post. Drives him a second time. Hakushi collapsing down to the concrete floor. Undertaker selling the left leg like a champ. Rolls back into the ring. Jamel asking me for Christmas to watch the Randy Orton, David Otunga Miracle on 34th Street fight match. No, I want to watch John Cena versus Who Shall Remain Nameless in a Miracle on 34th Street fight. Actually, I think we might do that sometime. I'll do a watch-along on Twitch about all of the Christmas gimmick fights. I think that's what we'll do. Hakushi back into the ring. Undertaker thrust, chop to the throat, sends him to the ropes. Hakushi reverses Taker off the ropes. Misses clothesline. Dodge a leaping clothesline by the Undertaker. Undertaker going over for the cover. Kick out at 2. Notice how Bruce Pritchard absolutely knows where that hard camera is. He is constantly at that hard camera side. He is constantly walking around, but knows where that hard camera side is. Hakushi getting up, kicks Undertaker in the left knee again. Trying for a crucifix, but doesn't get all of it. Slips over his shoulders. Hakushi going after that left leg again. Dragon screw. Hakushi climbing to the top rope. Moonsault. Beautiful moonsault, landing his knees on the left knee. Kick out at 2. Perfectly done. Brilliantly done. Hakushi's climbing to the top rope again. Leaps up to the top rope. We're looking for another falling headbutt, this time to Undertaker's head. There he goes. Misses! Undertaker just sits up. Undertaker with the chokehold. Looking for chokeslam number 2. Big leap. Way up there. Going for the cover. Kick out at 2. So good. So good. Undertaker slitting the throat. That's it. He's busting out the driver for this hole. It's a par 4, 395. He can make the green on this one. Picks up Hakushi. Tombstone headed. Here we go. Ka-chunk. Ooh, got the leap on that one. Going for the cover. 1, 2, 3. And that's how we finish it. Undertaker still selling that left leg attack. Leaning over the top turnbuckle, talking with Pritchard. Limping. He walks away from the turnbuckle, looking out to the crowd. Drops to his knee, lifts up the arm, and bows his head, clenches his fists. Quickly doing his part to serve the part of his contract, and exits the ring, followed by Bruce Pritchard behind him. Undertaker coming through the curtain to the gorilla position. Press still taking tons of pictures. Undertaker quickly making his way back. They fulfilled their contractual obligation. Waiting for comments, no comment. Microphone up to his hand, no comment. Uh-oh.
They all rest in peace.
Short and sweet. The wind still blowing. The cold wind still blowing. A red light filtering over the ring as Hakushi lies, spread eagle, catching his breath. Zombie Hakushi taken down by the Undertaker. His music playing once again in the background. And out comes the same casket that brought him to the ring, with that glowing white cross on it. Lid being lifted off of the casket. The arena is completely dark. All you can see are the bulbs of the cameras, which we didn't have cell phones back then, so they were actual flash bulbs from actual cameras. Hakushi being loaded into the casket. I just had a thing for the creepy professional wrestlers having the soft music that really punctuated how eerie they were. Like Mankind and his entrance music, Hakushi and his entrance music, I loved that. That's why I put a lot of emphasis on entrances. It really makes a difference. He's loaded into the casket, slid under the bottom rope, and he will be carted away by not the Japanese druids. I'm sure they're grave tenders or they are Japanese undertakers. So yeah, one of the very obscure matches from Undertaker's illustrious 30-year career came from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Michinoku Pro Wrestling in a exhibition match, October the 10th, 1997, versus Zombie Hakushi. Sometime before the end of the year, we will watch the death of Hakushi. Great Muta versus Jinsei Shinzaki from, I believe, All Japan Pro Wrestling. I will try to find that match. It is gruesome. It is gruesome. So, yeah. Cool deal. Fun stuff. I hope the Gestapo doesn't nail me. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Not an incredibly destroyed episode of Wrestleview Weekly. I mean, had just one beer and 2 shots of tequila. I'm feeling pretty good. Didn't have to crack open the second one that was in the hopper. I may have that one after the show. So, yeah. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. Thank you all so much for stopping by. And once again, if you didn't hear me say it last week, thank you so much for making us 1,000 subscribers strong on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. Thank you all so much. If you are listening right now, if you're watching right now and you have not subscribed, please do so. Please do so. You've got the Monday Night Raw recaps with the effervescent editor-in-chief of WrestleView.com, Mike Tedesco, and Queen Victoria, and occasionally Princess Liliana, covering all of post-Raw, having a Raw post-show to talk about Monday Night Raw. Catch me on here every Sunday night, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Wrestleview Weekly, going over all the headlines, all the major things of the pro wrestling televisions and the WWE milk carton that you indulged in. We will be making predictions for Survivor Series next week. Alongside taking 2 shots of tequila from our horrible decisions of Hell in a Cell. But also, ladies and gentlemen, next week, it is going to be a fantastic week. The christening of our 3rd Golden Gallon. It's happening. You definitely want to tune in for next week's Wrestleview Weekly. Again, thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope to have the graphics and the camera and the green screen fixed and everything by then. I'm learning more about this newfangled streaming stuff as I get older and more senile. So, thank you all for stopping by. Wear a mask. Be safe. Think of others before you think of yourselves. Don't be an asshole. It's very simple. And as always, now more than ever, know when you're being sold to.